In Sweden, the hunting season begins today and the government has issued the license to kill about 500 brown bears. We're not kidding. Starting today, Swedes are officially allowed to kill 20% of brown bears in the country. And why is that? Because the government says that there are too many bears. The great hunt is expected to bring their population down to 2,000, which is a drop of about 40% since 2008. Ecologists are concerned. They say this is not a hunt for preservation or for protection. It is a trophy hunt. So who is right? Should countries allow mass hunts of animals? Is there a better way to deal with this? Here's a report.
Sweden has always had a complicated relationship with its brown bears. Kind of like a seesaw of love and hate, where balance remains elusive. Here's why. In the mid-1800s, Sweden had thousands of bears. The animal is Sweden's largest predator. So, it was not good news. But by the early 1900s, brown bears were hunted almost to extinction in the country. Around 1930, only 130 bears remained, so Sweden hit crisis mode. At the turn of the century, they wanted to save the bears again. Their policy made a complete U-turn. The bear population was carefully managed, and their numbers did increase. They reached a peak of 3,300 in 2008. But guess what happened next? Sweden forgot to learn from its mistakes, obviously. So it's repeating them. Since the 2010s, bears have become Sweden's enemy number one. An increasing number of bears have been hunted. And this has worsened over the past 5 years. But this hunt is not on a whim. The Swedish government orchestrates this through the annual hunting season. Last year, a record 722 brown bears were killed. And this year, the bloodbath begins again. Starting today, Swedes will participate in the country's annual bear hunt. Officials have granted licenses, so people quite literally have the license to kill. How many bears? Exactly 486. That's less than last year's big number. But officials say that the numbers can increase over the year. If bears are considered a threat to farm animals, people can shoot them. Now, 486 may not seem like a big number, but that's 20% of the country's brown bear population. This would bring the total bear population down to 2,000. That's a drop of 40% since 2008. The government remains undeterred. They call this protective hunting, something that's necessary to keep the population in check. But ecologists are concerned. The high number of licenses have alarmed conservationists. They call this a quote-unquote trophy hunt, conducted to kill animals for fun and not for protection. And they are not wrong. Countries often issue hunting licenses to control animal populations, and sometimes they have a strange way of doing so, like hiring bounty hunters to kill snakes, or holding competitions to kill cats. So Sweden is not alone here. And bears aren't the only ones on its list. For years now, Sweden has carried out hunts of wolves, wolverines, lynxes, seals and eagles to prevent damage to crops, livestock, forests and fisheries. Sure, the population control of animals is important, but researchers say there are other humane ways to do so, like reproductive control. But that's a lot of work. So the government would rather arm itself and take the shortcut. But there's a problem here. If Sweden continues to kill bears at this rate, it will be inviting trouble. Because they are one annual hunt away from reaching the minimum number of bears required in the country, which is 1,400. And one step away from being stuck in a loop of cull and conservation.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.